Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Untap Open Frontier League. I'm Taylor. I have Clayton with me.
I
Tonight, we're going
will.
to be doing a top 8 match, hopefully, against Zofink and M as in Mansi, better known as Kevin and Noah. Um, Noah's going to be on his blue black control list that you guys should have seen him on before.
Yes, I believe that was 2 weeks ago.
And I think Fink has also been on camera as well, has he not?
I'm not sure. I've only started really commentating and whatnot a couple weeks ago. So,
Okay, well, do you have anybody who you're favoring in this matchup, Clayton?
well, I've never seen Kevin's deck in action. However, looking at it, it looks really sweet, and I think the longevity of God Pharaoh's gift plus the power of Collected Company, I think that combination is just going to be kind of absurd, and I'm not sure how Noah can deal with that long-term game plan.
The thing that kind of sticks out to me a lot is the Torrent Elemental in the sideboard for Kevin.
Oh boy.
You
I
never
hope
really
we
see that card very much, but
I hope we do, and I hope it's sweet.
yeah, I don't know how Noah's gonna get rid of it for good.
I don't think it's ever going to go away, and if Kevin can find it, I don't see how he loses that game almost.
I know that Kevin calls his deck the oh, what does he say? The predecessor of Rally or something like that. I don't know. He compares it a lot to Rally, which, in my opinion, has a really good blue-black matchup. So as long as that's true, I imagine that Kevin's got to be favored here.
Well, I imagine the matchup is just even better because instead of rally happening once, this is Godfellow's gift happening every turn.
Right.
And once it's on the board, I don't think Noah actually has a way to get rid of it.
Yeah, Noah is the one blue-black deck this season that wasn't running the Scarab God.
He does have a Crook of Condemnation, but that seems like a temporary band-aid, not an actual solution.
The Kalidas in his sideboard should also do a little bit of work, if as long as he can get him on board. But the problem with that is that Kevin's going to be dumping his graveyard in the first few turns. So if things go as planned, Kalidas may not be the greatest.
And it still doesn't answer Torrent Elemental.
Right.
It actually enables Torrent Elemental, which is kind of funny.
In the sideboard, Kevin also has a Shaper Sanctuary, which, in my experience, is incredible against Noah's deck.
Yeah, just looking at the main deck game plan plus sideboards, I just feel like Kevin is way advantaged.
Even if he's like dumping a Seder Wayfinder or like getting back a Seder Wayfinder with a God Pharaoh's gift, having a 4/4 that just dumps stuff in your
That's
graveyard is
still a
really
4
good.
4. Every time you're making a creature, you're making a real threat, and blue black is going to be strapped for answers, and I don't think blue black is going to be able to hold it down.
The Reflector Mage main board probably won't do a lot for Kevin, but
No,
other
I
than
expect
that,
that
his
will
main
go
board's
out.
really solid against Noah.
I really I see no real reasons that anything that would give Noah an advantage. Unlike last time where we saw him, where he had the main deck languish and the main deck um, collective brutality against a red deck, he doesn't have that sort of edge this time.
So in Noah's main board, he does have 3 Vraska's Contempt. So maybe he'll be able to grind it out, but
But
that's going to be so hard. He's going to have to get in there with Gear Hulk as fast as he can.
the issue is that this is also a collected company deck, and if your plan is 1 for 1 removal spells against a collected company deck, you're just going to get outvalued very quickly. You need to have creatures as well that can block well, that can get on the board, and in blue black control, you just don't have that.
Maybe if somehow Kevin can stop the God Pharaoh's gift from coming down and he can like lock down on Liliana, I could see the Liliana ultimate pulling the game ahead because he does have 3 disallows in his deck, allowing him to counter the what is that card? The Gate to the Afterlife
Yeah.
activation.
Yeah, it seems I think Noah's best chance to win is sticking a Liliana and then hoping it ults. I don't think there's any other way he can actually win.
I think a lot of it's also just gonna just come down to if he can keep the God Pharaoh's gift off the board.
Yeah. I suppose the other way is Kevin is only playing 20 lands. Granted, he has 4 Satyr Wayfinders and 4 Elvish Mystics.
And the
But if
four
he stumbles
Merfolk
on mana,
Branchwalker.
true. But if he stumbles on mana, which is entirely possible in a 20 land deck, that could also be his undoing.
Right. So segueing away from our top 8, you recently locked into the Cockatrice top 4, didn't you?
I did.
And you're on your mono black Eldrazi deck that you've been playing since as long as Frontier's been around.
Yep.
How's that working out for you? Obviously well, but are you glad about your matchups in top 4 right now? Or is there anything you're worried about?
In looking at lists, a lot of people are on Ensoul Artifact, and that matchup's very iffy. If I can answer their first Ensoul Artifact, or if I can stay at a high life total where Shrapnel Blast just doesn't kill me, then I'm okay. Otherwise, I kind of lose hard.
What do you have to deal with their Darkseer Citadel and Soul
If it's
Artifact?
the only creature on board, Bearer of Silence is the best answer.
Do you have any
But
other answers?
Blooded Fen,
Okay.
double Spatial Contortion. It's a rough look.
Yeah, that might be rough for you, but you've pulled out some games I've seen before.
They also play Hangerback Walker, and that makes a lot of tokens, and I have a hard time dealing with a lot of tokens, which is actually why when I played last week, I thought I was at a heavy disadvantage.
Yeah, last week you had that play where you killed your Hangerback Walker to make all those tokens to block for, like, I think what would have been lethal if I remember correctly.
It would have definitely been lethal, because he had just gotten back a Bushwhacker.
Yeah, that's right. And so that completely swung the game around.
I was on that plan, I think, for a few turns. Once I got my hanger back up to a reasonable size, I was just going to start attacking with it, leave up Fatal Push, and if he ever attacked, birth hanger back Walker.
Yeah, that worked out super well for you. You were able to close out the game in the next few turns. That Eldrazi deck, I just don't understand how you do well with it, but you're a god with that deck. It's crazy.
I think a lot of people overestimate how aggressive it is, and then fail to realize just how grindy it can be with Matter Reshaper, Hangerback Walker, and a variety of lands that do things. That's actually, I think, the part that people miss the most is the lands and how powerful they are.
You say that people underestimate how grindy it is, but you have to deal with that super aggressive early game.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't do that, you're just dead anyway. So it's kind of playing I don't know. It's playing on two angles that a lot of decks aren't doing in this format right
It's
now.
attacking from a lot of angles because there are so many grindy elements. It's a deck where you need to know your role, not just in a matchup, but at any given point in the game. And it's very good at leveraging role switching.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's almost tempo in nature.
Yeah.
So you and I have been playing with Kevin for a really long time in Frontier, almost since the format's inception.
Yeah. I remember him in the old original Cockatrice leagues, and I think maybe even the old X-Mage leagues way back in the day, almost a year ago now.
Oh wow, it's been quite... Oh, we just got news that Kevin will be around in 5 minutes.
He's stuck in traffic.
Traffic is the literal worst. But as you and I have played with Kevin for almost a year now, if not over a year, how good of a player would you say he is? Is he one of the better players in the league in your opinion, or just where would you rate him? Oh, I think I lost Clayton. So, in my opinion, Kevin's a really great player. I haven't gotten to play against him very much, but he consistently makes top 8s, top 4s in all these leagues. Of course, this deck, as you're seeing right now, this Bant deck, is just one of his own creations. So as long as somebody can, as long as somebody's consistently winning and then they're also innovating, it's kind of hard to metagame against them. And I think this happened in this league.
All right, I'm back. You were asking a question, I think, about Kevin?
Yeah, I was asking how you rate him as a player because he's been around for so long and he's top eighted so much.
Um, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because my memory is a little shaky on the old what happened in the old days because there was a pretty large gap, at least for me.
Yeah.
But I remember him always being one of the opponents I enjoyed playing more because I we always had good close matches with lots of decisions, lots of play, and it always seemed to me like he was making me really work for it.
Part of what I was just saying is that he's very hard to metagame against because
Oh yeah,
as we see with this Bant deck, you can't really expect him to be on like one of the meta decks per se.
no, he's never, at least from what I can remember, played normal things. He's always done something different. Almost every time he could switch a deck, he would switch a deck and do something different,
Are you expecting him
and
to
then
do
play
that in
it well.
season 3 of the Untapped League?
Yes.
Is he in the Cockatrice League as well? I don't remember.
Um, I don't think so, but I could be very wrong.
Hmm.
Yeah, he is. He top forward along with me, it looks
Okay,
like.
cool. Do you remember what he was on?
I'm not sure because I don't think I actually ended up in any of his pods.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I remember either.
And I know some people switched in between pods as well, so
Yeah, you and I were one of the few people that that stayed on one deck throughout the entire league. Most people were hopping around. And God of the Sun, who also top forward.
yeah, he was on Insole the whole time.
I think that's kind of his pet deck.
Although his Insole deck is very different.
Yeah, he's running, I think, 4 colors, right? Everything but green.
I think so. The biggest difference though is that he doesn't actually have as many creatures. He's on the no, he's on the Maverick Thopterist P and Kiran Nalar plan.
Yeah, that's right. I've had to play against him last round, I think. And
And those are two cards that are very good against me, making three bodies and being either cheap to cast or doing additional things with P and Kiran Nalar's ability. It's just very hard for me to grind through all of that.
yeah, I had a problem with that too when I was playing Teamer. So we're still waiting on Kevin. We're thinking about getting a backup match in here so that we don't have to just keep on waiting around.
Yeah,
But he should be here soon.
hopefully we can get that going and get something happening.
So I was on Teamer this entire season in both the Untap and the Frontier leagues.
Yeah, you were very high on that the first few weeks.
I still think that deck is really good as long as you're in the right meta. But I got paired up
Yeah.
against a lot of aggro decks, and that was the one thing I didn't want to see. Like control matchups, I feel like it's almost 80-20 favored for Teamer, and then other grindy matchups, Glory Bringers and Confiscation Coups can like kind of go over the top in a lot of
Yeah,
ways that Wingmate
the
Rock
times
did.
you beat me, it was definitely on the back of Glorybringer. Glorybringer put in some work.
Yeah.
Turns out 4 damage is enough to kill a Thought-Knot Seer.
But I
That's
think
an
this
very
season I may move off of that depending on how much red shows up. And testing,
yeah.
I feel like it will keep showing up. How do you feel about that?
I feel like a lot of people will be on aggro just because, I mean, that's always how it ends up being, is people will be on aggro because people see it as easy to play. I don't necessarily agree that it's easy to play or easy to build, but people will think that and then move to it.
Part of what I've experienced when playing any sort of aggro deck in this format is when you win by the smallest of margins normally. Especially now that Black has access to Vraska's Contempt to gain life and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And answer your hard to deal with threats like Hazoret or Chandra.
Right. And Languish, of course, gets rid of Hazoret very easily.
Mm-hmm. And I think people are going to start wisening up to Hazoret and then play more Grasp of Darkness, which is a very clean answer.
I think Noah's running Grasp of Darkness, right? Yeah, he's running
Uh,
two.
and no additional copies in the sideboard.
But even in Noah's deck list, where I don't think he was looking out for Hazoret, he has 7 mainboard answers. That's not bad.
No, that's pretty strong. I mean, he definitely built it, as we talked about the first time we saw him play. He built anti-aggro.
You know, it's
He did
kind of
not.
weird to think about him being anti-aggro and having 4 Jace Vryn's Prodigy. That's another card I've seen in blue-black a lot lately.
Yeah, it seems to be falling out of favor because a lot of decks want to be turning off their opponent's removal spells just entirely,
I feel
and
like you
then
can never
leave
really
those
go
cards
wrong with...
stranded.
Go ahead.
Well, and then it leaves those cards stranded. And I know being on that side of the table against a control deck, it's just a miserable feeling when you have a handful of fatal pushes, Grasp of Darkness and whatnot, and they're, you know, beating you down or in control of the game, and you just have a pile of dead cards in your hand.
Alright, so the game supposedly is live right now.
Yeah, I believe it's an exhibition match.
Oh, a Swank.
Yep.
So I tried to join the game. Okay, yeah. I'm in. Oh, they've already started. Nope, I'm in the wrong game.
No, I just see Swank in the room and Mason has left.
I joined the wrong game. Do we know what Swank's going to be on?
I believe we saw him mm, a couple weeks ago, and he's on red.
Okay.
I think he's just on straight mono red. Actually, it might have been him against Mason that we saw earlier. That the last time we cast together.
Oh, you might be right. I think I might have played against Swank in the Swiss. If I did, I lost to him. Because I lost to a lot of red. Oh, okay, he's on 4-color Copycat.
Oh, all right. That's not red.
So you got to figure that Noah's pretty heavily favored in that matchup, I would think.
I would agree. I'm not sure what obviously is in the four-color copycat list, but there are definitely ways it can grind just as well as a blue-black list.
I'm assuming that it's the green variant and not the black variant.
Yep,
Okay, yeah.
featuring Renegade Rallier, Satyr Wayfinder, and friends.
Satyr Wayfinder, that's interesting.
I mean, the mana seems rough, and that helps fix your mana.
He's running an Ishkana as well.
Looks like sideboard, yeah. Ishkana is very good. I think it's a very underrated card in the format.
Yeah, it's been pretty good against me with whenever I was playing Teamer.
I feel like whenever it hits the board, very few decks have a clean answer to it. So unless you're doing some sort of combo thing like a Marvel or a four-color Cats deck, where you just kind of win on the spot, then it's just going to be very hard to grind through.
So I don't have Swank's list up on screen, but I don't see it grinding incredibly well against blue-black. Of course, he does have stuff like Renegade Rallier, like you just said, and
I
uh,
mean, four dig through time and a couple of Nahiris will go a long way in helping, but it seems a little slow out of the gates, and then it's just going to run into counter magic. Is the way I see it going.
so did the game go live? Because I no longer see it. Yeah, it's live now. Man, it's hard to join games. Okay, I joined the wrong game again? I'm so confused.
I appear to be in the game.
Every time I try to join the game, I go into this other legacy game. Almost just disappearing as soon as I hit it. try a third time. Okay, here we go.
And it looks like Swank or 4-color Copycat is on the play, which is very important. I think he needs to get out ahead a little bit.
Absolutely, that's one of his best chances of winning here. Okay, it looks like Kevin just now got in. Sorry for the inconvenience to any of the viewers.
Yeah, that sucks. But it looks like we're going to be good to go with our actual feature match in just a moment.
So are they playing through this game, or...
Looks like we are going to just play this game through and then go on to our actual feature match.
Okay.
Give Kevin a little bit of time to relax after stressful traffic and trying to get here on time.
So
Starting off with Oath of Nissa is pretty good.
I think that's the ideal turn 1 play for this deck. Hopefully he'll set up his colors so that he's not locked out of stuff.
Can't see any other turn 1 plays. He is not playing Elvish Mystic. So yeah, this is the ideal start.
He's going to find a Flood Strand, so that should get at least 3 of his colors, or be able to.
It will also enable a turn 2 Jace, if that's something he has.
So it's Noah's turn. Guess he's going into the tank here.
He needed a second. He looks like he might be going to the bathroom, getting a drink, something.
Okay. Well, Noah's opening hand is a Torrential Gearhulk, an Island, an Opt, a Polluted Delta, Fatal Push, Glimmer of Genius, and a second island.
Yep, and that looks pretty reasonable. Early interaction, mid-game draw, late-game power. It's probably what you want. Just wants to see more lands, get that Glimmer going, and then... I mean, he's looking pretty well set up to deal with whatever Swank can send at him.
Fatal Push isn't going to be the most ideal removal spell in this matchup, but of course he's going to try to get any removal spell he can get.
Well, with Revolt, it does hit, I believe, every creature in Swank's deck.
Yeah, with Revolt it definitely will. But
and
if I remember correctly, he's not running a ton of fetches.
He's running 7.
Okay, that's a good amount.
That's a pretty strong number for Revolt being on regularly.
So we're seeing the turn 2 Jace here from Swank.
Again, about exactly what you could want.
I imagine that's got to see a Fatal Push.
For sure. I can't imagine. I don't think there is actually a better target unless you need Revolt to kill a cat in response to combo.
Right.
That's the only time you'd find a better target.
So it looks like a pretty good hand from both sides here. What all does Swank have to flash back with his 4-color deck?
Looks like he has a Dig Through Time, he has Lightning Strike, and Radiant Flames.
So I gotta imagine this Jace is mainly there to set up his early game then, because besides Dig Through Time, you don't really want to flash back the other stuff. Like you can,
Lightning Strike's not horrible.
Yeah. It's just not ideal when you think about Jace.
No, but he is also pseudo removal spell in shrinking down a creature.
That's also true.
I imagine more than anything, he's there to smooth out the other game and then buy time for the combo.
So Noah let him go back to his turn to activate Jace, which we'll probably see a kill spell in response. But this can be a pretty dangerous game if you let them fill up their graveyard.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised to see that.
I mean, if we see fetch land, play Satyr Wayfinder, leave up fetch land, you can't push Jace because then in response we go fetch and then we loot and then Jace flips. There are lots of things that could go wrong, but it looks like those things will not be going wrong. Fortunately for Noah.
So he is currently locked out on red. Satyr Wayfinder will probably help set that up. I've got to imagine we're going to see a fatal push here.
I don't know why you wouldn't. This is your only opportunity now to get this Jace off the board. I guess. I guess you can also do it in response to Jace looting.
If I'm in blue-black shoes, that's not a game that I want to play.
No, because then you're using mana on your turn because he's going to use Jace on end step.
Maybe he's just really fearing the cat combo. So we're going to see a Nahiri, Lightning Strike, and Oath of Nissa go to the graveyard, and he's going to take the Cinder Glade.
Yep.
So
now
he will have all four colors.
Good. But I feel like if he's letting the Jace... Oh, Frank is just going to go for it.
It's now or never.
I didn't expect him to go for it here.
And we are going to see the fatal push, it looks like.
Going for it here, though, seems strange. I don't know what you're trying to do, not doing it at Noah's end step. That doesn't make sense to me. Because then, if he has the push, which we know he does, Noah is then spending mana on his turn as opposed to during Swank's turn.
Maybe Noah's trying to bait him out into thinking that he didn't have the push, but that's generally something I would want to play against in Swake's position. Either way, this definitely favors Noah.
Yeah. Dig through time in the graveyard. Gotta imagine then his hand is a little stacked.
Yeah, if you're getting rid of Dig Through Time, with how many cards does he have?
8 cards in your graveyard. 7 others, not counting the Dig Through Time.
He's got to have one, like at least one more. Or he just has the combo or that he's like all in on right now.
Perhaps that's what he was trying to do with the Jace play. That was his line of thought. Where he wanted to go all in the combo and bait out a push.
Yeah, maybe so. That makes a little bit of sense. So he's going to play a Prairie Stream here, which makes me believe that he's going to go for another Dig Through Time.
Could be Dig.
Because I don't see why else you wouldn't just play Cinderglade.
Yeah. Giving away a little bit of info, not having your mana.
So it looks like Noah has another Fatal Push and Op in his hand.
And Pluto Delta to turn on the push.
Oh yeah, it's true. Is this the same exact hand as his opening hand without the islands?
It is. He's drawn another Opt and another Fatal Push.
It's a pretty good place to be.
Yeah. More early interaction, more lands. Oath of Nissa found, looks like Wooded Foothills.
So we know that Swank has at least 2 lands in his hand.
Renegade Rally or
Saheeli Rai.
Saheeli? Okay.
Using the Oath of Nissa, of course, to pay for red.
Yep. And we're going to see an opt looking. What can Noah find here? Noah can find.
Does he have negates?
He has no 2 mana counter spells.
Hmm. Maybe he's just trying to make it seem like he has negate to make that, just to give him some fear, I guess.
I mean, he was going to opt on Instep anyway.
That's true.
Might as well do it in response. Make your opponent think a little bit. Make him sweat.
So Noah's kind of in a tricky spot here with his only removal going to be Fatal Push with only one way to turn on Revolt.
Yeah. And next turn he definitely wants to Glimmer if the combo doesn't happen. Which then uses up the fetch land. Looks like he found a Flooded Strand off the opt though, so that won't be an issue.
Okay, that's very nice for him. Just going to take the one from Seder Wayfinder.
Oh yeah, you don't care about Wayfinder.
You can let that hit you all day long. Unless you're playing against Kevin, in which case that 4/4 Wayfinder may be kind of scary.
But yeah, we're going to see Pluto Delta, I'm assuming pass. I imagine Swank has the Felidar Guardian. He's going to go for it. It's going to get pushed.
So Noah drew a Liliana. We are going to see the pass.
Unfortunately, he can't play that because he doesn't already have double black. If he already had double black, he could leave up Pluto Delta as his push, play Liliana, deal with Wayfinder.
One of the things I seem to remember about Noah's deck list, I feel like he's usually off a double black or double blue in the early game.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's specifically the way he built his mana or just the way that blue-black decks have been lining up lately.
He is playing 3 main deck Radiant Fountain, which does seem to mess up his mana a little bit. Doesn't have maybe as many basics or as many dual lands as he would otherwise want.
Is he running any Field of Ruin?
0 copies of Field of Ruin. He is running a Blooded Fen and 3 Radiant Fountains as his non-colored mana.
That Field of Ruin's so good in mirror matches. So we're just going to see a Renegade Rallier here.
Looks like no Revolt.
Didn't he have a Wooded Foothills in hand?
Did he Wooded Foothills? Did he play Wooded Foothills to get the Cinderglade, or was that the Cinderglade that he played from hand?
Oh, no, he did play Wooded Foothills. We missed that.
Okay. Yeah, he did. Okay. Because we knew he had Wooded Foothills and Cinderglade, so I wasn't sure. Cards he can get back with Renegade Rallier. He can get back land and Oath of Nissa, it looks like.
I am... Okay, I did not expect the graveyard to be at the bottom of the screen. That kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Interesting
it looks like
UI.
he's choosing to get land.
I kind of like
I don't
that.
mind it.
So we went for the Flooded Strand off the Renegade Rallier?
Yeah.
I feel like I just would have got the Oath of Nissa in his shoes.
Yeah. I don't know what the extra land is helping him with here. Because we know he has a Cinderglade in hand.
Yeah, so now he's...
Also, he didn't go for the combo, so that indicates to me he doesn't have it. Because I don't believe he has Counterspell backup in his main deck.
So he does have double blue up, so I imagine that we're going to see Dig Through Time.
Yeah. That's the most likely scenario given this line of play.
And for the viewers, we're only going to see game 1 of this set, and then we're going to cut back to the top 8.
We're going to see a Glimmer from Noah here, and that's going to, I think, put the game away almost. We know he has Gearhulk in hand, we know he has a push, and we know he has a Flooded Strand for his push to turn on Revolt.
So we're going to see a Dig Through Time in response to the Glimmer.
And this is a good time to do it.
Is the Flooded Strand still on the battlefield for you as well on Swank's side?
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of throwing me off because it was like in the creature zone, but
Yeah.
not a lot of room for lands.
Looks like both players still learning a little bit. New version.
I haven't personally used this new version yet. Have you?
I have not.
It seems much smoother.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. It actually functions on Chrome for me, which it did not do before, so that's nice.
Interesting. I didn't have that many problems on Chrome, besides just lag and whatnot. So what do you think that Swank needs to hit here in these top 7 cards in order to get back into the game?
Well, I think his line of play indicates he does not have a Guardian, so I imagine he's looking for that. Um, Notably, he exiled his Dig Through Time in his graveyard. He left in Lightning Strike, Windswept Heath, and Oath of Nissa. So, and then obviously the Dig Through Time he just cast. So I imagine Renegade Rallier would not be a bad hit. Get an Oath of Nissa back.
True.
Um, believe he's playing Torrential Gearhulk. He has 2 of those, so that's a pretty good hit. Nahiri wouldn't be bad. The Jace wouldn't be bad. But it's got to be number 1 hit, Felidar Guardian. That's what you're going for. Because I don't think he has it prior to Dig.
And you and I, of course, know that Noah does have an answer for that Felidar Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he went for the Flooded Strand just so he can try to get out 8 lands so he can play back-to-back Felidar Guardians.
That could be it. It looks like Noah found another land and a dissolve, so more answers. More lands, more answers. And there's that Flooded Strand.
Going to keep him off the combo. Well, of course, he also has the
He has
Disallow.
dissolve now. Or disallow, excuse me.
How do you feel about Disallow versus something like Void Shatter or Dissipate?
I'm not sure. I think it's a very close decision because the stifle part of disallow is very powerful, but with the way decks are shaping up, exiling is also very powerful.
Yeah, if you're able to like Void Shatter or Dissipate a Scarab God or a Gearhulk
Mm-hmm.
in those mirror matches, that's really powerful. And then also against Kevin's deck, if Noah had some exile effects, that'd be a lot
Yes.
better for him.
I think it's close, and I think it ultimately depends on what you think the metagame is going to be. If you think there's going to be more decks, perhaps like Kevin's or Delirium decks and whatnot, where you're going to expect lots of threats to recur from the graveyard, then you definitely go for the Dissipate. And I think you go Dissipate over Void Shatter because someone could randomly have Unceremonious Rejection that is a downside for Void Shatter. Because otherwise they are the same card, Void Shatter and Dissipate.
Do you think that Unceremonious Rejection is more popular than Dispel?
I mean, Dispel hits both of them, so you would want to
Oh
have
yeah,
as
that's
few.
true.
So I imagine you would go Dissipate over Void Shatter, unless you wanted colorless in your deck.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, we're just going to see this Saheeli continue to scry, continue to chip in for a little bit of damage. I mean, it's starting to add up. Noah's only at 13, facing down 4 damage. and he's taking it. But that's all Swank did. Played a land and passed. He did not go for the combo, which again I find very interesting.
So we're gonna see a Liliana here with Disallow backup.
Interesting way he tapped his land though. I would have definitely tapped Swamp before Dual Land. Just a small thing, but could be relevant.
Yeah, it's very relevant. I'm not sure I would have played Liliana here. I think I would rather just get out the Gearhulk.
Yeah. I'm not sure because... And then he's going after the Renegade Rallier too.
Interesting line here from Noah.
I suppose technically Liliana survives the attack. She takes one from Renegade Rallier, one from Wayfinder, one from Saheeli.
I guess if you go the Gearhulk plan, you have to take 4 more. You're dropping down to 5, which isn't ideal. But
well, I
as long
imagine
as you have life,
in
you're
Gearhulk.
fine.
No, if he goes to combat, you can flash in Gearhulk and block the Rallier. Because sure, you're tapped out.
Oh yeah,
but then
that's
it's
true, because
main phase
the
two.
Guardians just get exiled at end step anyway.
Yeah, there's no attack after that.
Right.
I mean, sure, they're threatening to do it next turn, but you can simply kill the Guardian.
So if Swank hits one more land, he can go for the double Guardian here.
Yeah, and that would be game. And that might have been his game plan all along, like you said.
Of course,
Very conservative line of play, though.
So he plussed.
Or if you do have the Guardian, you use your Saheeli first.
I was thinking that you could minus on the Wayfinder to find another land in case you needed it.
Oh, sure.
Or even the Rally. No, not the Rallier, because he doesn't have Revolt. But
no, he's just going to go for it now. And I
should see a Disallow here.
Disallow or push. Because there is a flooded transfer on Revolt.
Okay, so it's going to resolve.
Looks like he's going to go for the push plan. He's going to let Saheeli bounce and then minus, and then Saheeli will only be at 1.
Do you like this play more than the Disallow route?
It manages Saheeli more. It puts her down to 1 loyalty. So I think so.
Yeah, it seems better to me as well.
That said, I feel like Saheeli should have minused initially. Like you said, maybe find an ace land, maybe copy a Renegade Rallier just for extra damage.
Yeah. Because if he copies Renegade Rallier, he's going to put Noah down to 3. Is that correct? To 2. Or take care of Lily and put him down to 6.
Yeah.
You know, I think I might just copy him just so we can get rid of the Lily.
Yeah. Because now Lily's going to be left at 1.
I also wouldn't be surprised if Swank just went to the face, because Noah is kind of low.
A very viable option.
Looks like we're going to see something else.
We're going to see a land. Does he have a second Guardian? If he has second Guardian, I believe that's game, unless we have a third push from Noah. Yeah, it would be a third push.
Which I don't think he has. It's 3, 4.
Yep, there's second Guardian.
I think that's game.
I I believe so as well. Not okay.
Almost a punt there by Swank.
Yeah, he almost forgot that that was his plan. And yeah, Noah's gonna call it in.
So we are going to be moving to the scheduled match, the top 8 match. Blue Black versus Bant God Pharaoh's Gift. And we're seeing another Saheeli in Swank's hand regardless.
I think in this matchup, I think the Guardians are much easier to answer, given the way Noah had built his deck. He has more removal spells than he does counter spells.
Yeah, I agree with that. I expected Noah to win that one, but the
It looks
Saheeli
like he
combo
had
is
it all
very
in control.
powerful.
I think he didn't have an answer to the Saheeli, so if at any point Swank assembled double Guardian like you were saying, then it was just game over.
Right.
Especially especially given that he tapped 3 mana for Liliana. If he had held up all of his mana, he could have disallowed the first and pushed the second.
Yeah, that Liliana play seemed kind of greedy to me. Maybe not even greedy, more impatient rather. And I feel like you have to play very patiently against a combo deck.
Yeah, if you're the control deck, there's almost no rush when you have counter spells and removal spells in hand. I am in the game, and you're in the game.
Yep.
Looking at seedings, it looks like Kevin will get the choice of player draw.
That'll be pretty important in this matchup, I feel. Not so much from Kevin's end, but if Noah had the start, that would be that'd be his best chance of winning. I feel like Kevin could win on the draw as well. But
Right, but this allows him to perhaps sneak in a collecting company under a counter spell or apply early pressure and force um, Noah to spend mana on his own turn. Whenever you can make a control deck spend mana on their turn, you're you're doing something right. You're in good shape.
right.
Believe we are just waiting on mulligans and them to send their opening hands to us, and then we'll be good to go.
Yep. So Kevin's going to keep. Noah's
Noah is
also going to
also
keep
keeping
with 2 lands with a
2 lands, push, opt, push, contempt, and dig through time.
kind of awkward. If that dual land came into play untapped, that'd be much better.
Yeah, it's really a hand that asks the question: does opt forgive all sins?
You know, I'm kind of surprised to see Opt in this blue-black deck. I feel like Hieroglyphic Illumination's been more popular lately.
That's something I've been getting the impression as well. And the reason cited is fairly obvious when you think about it. Hieroglyphic Illumination has 2 modes, one of which is um, Cycle, obviously. Almost the same thing as Opt, slightly less powerful. But then at 4 mana, you can draw 2 cards, and that's significantly better than anything Opt can do.
Not only that, flashing it back off a Gear Hulk is also just so much better than anything Opt is doing.
hmm And I'm not sure why that second mana is tapped for Kevin,
Yeah, I'm kind
because
of
I believe
confused on
those are
that
both
too.
Botanical Sanctums, right?
Yeah, they are. So it looks like Noah drew a Jace.
That's a pretty good draw if it lives, and I don't believe Kevin has much main board interaction. Yeah, I don't think that's getting off the table unless he has a Reflector Mage,
Which we may be seeing.
and it would be pretty good here. Be about the best Reflector Mage would be in this matchup.
Yeah, definitely.
And looks like that would be the case. Nope,
A
just
Renegade
kidding. It's a
Rallier.
Renegade Rallier, which is ramp, which is also powerful. Notably, it leaves up Siren Storm Tamer, that Siren Storm Tamer's ability.
What do you think of Siren Storm Tamer?
Um, I think it's a very powerful magic card. It's very frustrating to deal with on the opposing side of the table because it's just a 1/1 flyer. You'd much rather remove, in this case, Renegade Rallier, but instead you're just going to get that Siren Storm Tamer,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty obnoxious. And it also comes down on turn 1 and it starts chipping away at your life total. Not quite Judge's Familiar, but still pretty powerful.
In some ways, it's better than Judge's Familiar.
I think here, in this sort of deck, I think it might be better.
Especially at this point when he has the extra mana.
And here we're going to see Reflector Mage.
Probably going to see a Jace loot in response. Yep.
Can't imagine why we wouldn't. Always loot. Not sure what's in Kevin's hand, but he's been able to apply some good pressure. Has some protection up. He ramped a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm definitely wanting to be on Kevin's side in this matchup right now.
Also, a Radiant Fountain being the land there is pretty awkward. It's not a basic for your future Sunken Hollows. It's not a second blue. I think in this matchup, the 2 life gain is largely irrelevant.
So we're going to see the push on the Renegade Rallier and the Storm Tamer sack.
Yep. Notably push turned on thanks to Reflector Mage. Good eye for Noah to catch that, but unfortunately, Storm Tamer caught it. That said, I do think catching a push is about the best you're going to do from Noah's side on the Storm Tamer.
Right, right.
Also notable, Noah looted away a dig through time. I think I can see why, because his hand currently doesn't have double blue. He needs lands.
Yeah, I could definitely see why that'd be good to get rid of.
I think he's also a little spooked by the possibility of Collected Company ruining his day, because currently I do not believe he has an answer.
Yeah, that's also true.
He's on the single target removal plan, which is, as I mentioned in the pregame, pretty bad against Collected Company.
Granted, he does have at least 3 pieces of removal, 2 now, but scribe Lily to the bottom, Andrew another Jace and a Contempt.
Jace is, well, we knew about the Jace. He played that.
Oh, it's the first Jace?
I believe so. Either way, he can't play it because of Reflector Mage. But
Right.
finding a second Contempt here is not where you want to be.
So in Kevin's hand, we have a Forest, God Pharaoh's Gift, and a Merfolk Branchwalker. So
And
it's
with the
actually
ramp-
not a lot of action.
True, but with the ramp that he did thanks to Renegade Rallier, that Godfarrow's Gift is going to come online potentially within the next couple turns.
Especially if that Merfolk Branchwalker can find another land.
Yeah, he has a couple looks at a land.
It's not often you see a hard cast God Pharaoh's Gift.
Noah has forgotten about the Reflector Mage, which is fair. It's been banned from Standard for quite some time, and then rotated out.
So it's not looking like he found a fourth land.
No, it's not, and that I think spells disaster, especially if Branchwalker finds a land, because that's going to be enough pressure on the board to force Noah to spend mana perhaps on his turn, which then leaves the door open for a Godpharaoh's Gift.
And also, Noah no longer has a way to trigger a Revolt for his other Fatal Push. So these creatures are going to survive for a while.
Yeah. And they're not, like I said, it's no small amount of pressure. This is 5 points of damage currently on the board. Branchwalker potentially adding more.
However, with 3 cards in the graveyard, he does have enough for Murderous Cut to delve.
I don't.
Which he did pick up.
It buys you time, but I almost think playing Liliana here is better because it will survive the attack. You plus either way, it only takes 3 damage, goes to 1, gains you some life. But it looks like he's opting for the push plus Murderous Cut plan.
Well,
Unfortunately, push doesn't. He can't push anything currently,
Yeah.
but he can potentially push a future threat.
Right. And he's just going to take it. Huh.
I like using your life total as a resource, but here I don't think you're in the position to do so. I think you got to cut the 3/2.
Yeah, I don't really know what you're planning to kill. It's not like he has a bunch of big creatures. I guess he has the Angel of Invention. But even that's not something you necessarily want to cut. If Noah doesn't find a land soon, that's going to spell a disaster, or it's going to be a disaster for him.
Oh yeah, just might as well be game almost.
We're going to see the Angel Invention on top. I gotta imagine that's going to the graveyard.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see keeping it where he wants to cast it, because he's pretty far ahead on board.
But just being 1 mana off of a Godpharaoh's Gift.
Yeah, and putting it in the graveyard, which is right where you want it to be.
And he can even be very... He can kind of slow roll the gift too, because he has
Oh yeah.
8 power on board.
Well, it's about to be 5, thanks to Fatal Push hitting the Branchwalker. But yeah, he has enough pressure on board that he can go to attack first, make Noah do something. Found the second island like a champion.
Still saving the Murderous Cut as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand that one. I feel like you just want to use your mana because you don't have much of it.
I guess maybe this turn he's planning on going Jace Murderous Cut, but regardless.
That leaves them very cold to the Godpharaoh's Gift or Collected Company.
Right.
Notably, Kevin has 4 mana up right now. He could very well have a Collected Company in hand, for all Noah knows.
Alternatively, he could just go for the Vraska's Contempt, but still, even that's not where he wants to be.
No. I believe at this point, players do know deck lists, so Kevin knows that in the main deck there's only Disallow, and yeah, he's just going to go for the make Noah do something now.
And we're going to see a Vraska's Contempt. So no life total change.
But if Kevin found that 7th land and slow rolled it, yep, we're going to get to see Godpharaoh's Gift resolve.
Of course, it will not trigger anything this
But I don't
turn,
think
but you don't
Kevin
need to.
really cares.
Right. And he has the Angel Invention in the graveyard, which is his prime target.
We're going to see Godpharaoh's Gift resolve, and I don't know how blue-black comes back from this.
Well, he only has 2 creatures in his graveyard right now.
That's true.
I wonder if Noah's aware that Fatal Push can't hit the Angel Invention that's been remade with the Godpharaoh's Gift.
He has 3 creatures in the graveyard. He has Branchwalker, Angel, and Storm Tamer. The Renegade Valier should be exiled.
Oh yeah, 3.
But having 2 flying threats is very good because the only blocker Noah can come up with is Torrential Gearhulk. Also, notably, Siren Storm Tamer does protect other things.
Right.
Although I'm not sure once it's a 4/4, if I think the Storm Tamer is the one you're probably trying to protect at that point. Can't
Maybe so.
imagine having a better threat other than Angel of Invention.
I agree with that. So, from Noah's side,
It
based
just
on his
seems like a
past few
losing
turns, I'm
battle.
going to expect him to probably play Jace and pass, maybe Liliana pass, maybe just pass.
It just is a very bad situation. Looks like Liliana. Yeah.
That Liliana's, well, it's not going to die. He has a murder's cut in his hand still. I
So
think this is
Murderous
the
Cut
best
deals
play he can
with.
go for.
Yeah, I think it is too. But Murderous Cut deals with the first Angel. Or maybe Kevin sees the removal spell and goes for something different.
He could also just make some servos with the Angel, and that'd be very hard for Noah to deal with right now.
I, I think that's probably the best plan with the Angel because the 4/4 Angel still checks Liliana
Right.
and then produces additional threats. Yeah. I think the worst plan is 6/6 Angel, whereas the best plans are some combination, are either Angel or um, maybe Branchwalker would also be good to get the Explore trigger this turn, bait out the removal spell.
And the 6/6 Angel won't even speed up your clock all that much anyway. Unless Noah goes for another fetch, in which case it'll just be a 2-turn lethal.
I feel like you want to get Liliana off the board first. You have the God Pharaoh's Gift, and the way you lose the game is if Liliana is able to ultimate.
Yeah, he's at the point now where he can outgrind a control deck.
Not sure what we were waiting for there, but looks like we are back and ready to go.
I think he was checking the Reflector Mage's power. Just to remind himself, maybe.
Ooh, Wayfinder's pretty good.
Wayfinder's going to be great. Satyr
At this
Wayfinder is
point,
such a key card to all these graveyard-based decks.
oh, it's very powerful.
I'm not sure that a bunch of graveyard decks could exist in this format without Wayfinder.
It's definitely a card that was missing from Delirium decks of yesteryear. Ooh, Wayfinder whiffed. Which, of course, in the 20 land deck actually isn't that unlikely.
And
Now
I
that
think you
about
just
it.
want to get creatures in the graveyard at this point
Oh
anyway.
yeah,
You don't really
that's
care
what you're
about
looking
lands all
for.
that much.
No, but you were looking for creatures. But if you found a land,
Do we know the last card in his hand? In Kevin's hand?
I do not believe so. Because the last time we had an update, it was land, God Pharaoh's Gift, Branchwalker, and he's played all three of those.
Yep. So let's see what he goes for here. Off the God Pharaoh's Gift.
I think it's got to be Angel of Invention, make some servos, and that allows Reflector Mage to attack as well.
And that is what we're going to see.
Oh, it looks like he's going for no, just adding notes. Hasn't decided yet.
So Hangerback Walker has a very interesting interaction with God Pharaoh's Gift, where it'll stay alive, but you can continue to
Right.
pump later on.
Yeah, same thing with Walking Ballista.
Right.
Which actually makes those cards, I think, very powerful in these decks. You can play them early, deal with an early attacker, and then they come back later, put more counters on them, shoot more things, especially with Walking Ballista. And it looks like Kevin has chosen 3 Walking Ballistas in his deck, which very powerful. I actually saw that in Standard in the Pro Tour. I believe, in
Yeah, I
some of
think
the
so.
God Pharaoh's Gift decks that were running around.
Yeah, sounds right. From the Pascal Maynard list.
I don't think he specifically was running Ballista, but I know some of the God Pharaoh's Gift decks were.
Okay.
We're going to see
So,
Murderous Cut here.
and the mage will go back to zero
0 power.
power.
So unfortunately no damage dealt this turn, but he's generated 2 more threats. Gotten a removal spell out of Noah's hand.
So now that Fatal Push can hit all the other cards in the graveyard, I believe. Because they all are 2 CMC or less.
Um, that Yes, that would be the case. However, the Merfolk Branchwalkers will get additional value.
Correct.
And if he has mana untapped, Hangerback Walker can make a counter or two.
So I gotta imagine we're gonna see a Lily Plus. Yep, gonna hit the
Notably
Reflector
on
Mage.
Reflector Mage and not killing off a Servo. I,
Definitely smart to not hit the Wayfinder, because that's the worst thing you can do here is let him continue to
oh
fill up his
no.
graveyard. You want to keep that
But
alive as
I
possible.
feel like he wanted to just get threats off the board.
Because Liliana's gonna stay alive regardless.
I think your only hope here is that somehow Kevin runs out of threats in the graveyard, doesn't draw anything off the top of his deck,
I'm
and then
thinking
he
that
can just make the board empty.
I'm thinking that this turn Noah's gonna go for Glimmer of Genius and Fatal Push on one of the servos. Oh no, he doesn't have any Fatal Push left.
He has a second Jace, which is pretty bad at this point in the game. Gonna see Branchwalker reanimated via God Pharaoh's Gift.
Best case scenario is gonna hit another creature on top. Best case, probably Satyr Wayfinder.
Or Angel of Invention, I imagine.
Yeah,
Generate more threats.
one of those two.
Champion of Wits would also be good.
Elvish Mystic. I mean, it's a creature, so it's
It's
good
a 4/4.
enough, but it's not ideal.
All creatures are created equal under the God Pharaoh.
Kind of interesting that he's not killing off the Liliana here,
Yeah, I imagine you just send everything at Liliana.
but it's gonna see a Vraska's Contempt anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Or you would have done 3 damage to Liliana, at least.
Well, he's still dealing 3 to Liliana, I think.
Didn't you say the rest at Noah instead of at Liliana?
I thought the Merfolk was at Noah, but oh no, you're right. My mistake.
Yeah, so Liliana took no damage. Ooh, Walking Ballista, though.
Further reason to just attack Liliana. You can leave this Walking Ballista alive and kill it off.
Yeah.
I guess at this point he's just going face, trying to race them before the Liliana can even ultimate.
I feel like in the position that Kevin's in, he's perfectly happy just outgrinding, outgrinding, outgrinding.
That's where I would want to be too. But I think that he probably can race this Liliana as long as Noah doesn't draw more removal. And that's not something I want to bet against a control deck doing.
Right.
So he's drawing his 3rd Jace.
Oh, man. Oh, that's gotta be brutal.
Man, Noah's in a tough spot here.
I don't see how he wins. Again, we know that he has no ways to deal with a resolved God Pharaoh's Gift, except exile in the graveyard. But that's not in his main deck. That's in his sideboard, so are you just hoping Kevin makes a mistake? Is that what you're doing?
I guess so. You don't really have that many options.
But with 3 Jaces, it's really hard to even capitalize on a mistake.
I think you just want to. I would Glimmer main phase. Okay, he's just
Yeah,
conceding.
he's just going to call the game.
That's
And I
fair.
can't blame him there. I think he's stuck. There's nothing he can do. He has no answers. He has three Jaces in hand.
All right, going to sideboard. If you're Kevin, what are you bringing in here?
I'm definitely bringing in the negates. I think those are very good. I'm taking out all my reflector mages. Spellcaller, I think, is also quite good. It hits every removal spell except for Murderous Cut. Also hits Languish. Um, Torrent Elemental, I think, is good in this matchup. I think you're going to expect a grindy game, and that's where that shines. Shaper's Sanctuary. Uh, Noah is on a lot of targeted removal spells.
Did you
So
say
Shaper's
Deathcore
Sanctuary.
Scavenger?
I think you bring that in. It's would be one of the last cards in that bunch I look at, but it's
Yeah.
something I would want to bring in. I'm just not sure what else you take out besides the four Reflector Mages.
Um. Yeah, I
Maybe
actually
in
agree with that. There's only the
maybe
four
in this
reflector
matchup you
mage.
trim Elvish Mystic because you expect it to be grindy and you just want spells that do things.
Maybe so, but with 20 lands, it's not something I
Yeah,
want
with
to bet
20
on.
lands, I'm not sure you can do that.
So you're
Um,
thinking two negate, Shaper Sanctuary, and Torrent Elemental?
and Spellcaller. Those are the first six I'm looking at. So you
What
have to
about
come
on
up with
Noah's
two more
side?
cuts beyond Reflector Mage, and I'm not sure what those would be. But those are the total seven cards once you throw in the Deathscorch Scavenger as well that I would be looking at. On Noah's side, definitely Crook. I can see where people would bring in Negate, but I feel like if you're bringing in Negate against the 31 creature deck, you're just going to die to the creatures.
I could see
Um,
Transgress coming in as well.
Transgress, I think, is a lot better than Negate, but I'm still not thrilled. Flame Tendrils and Kalitas, however, are great.
So, first and foremost, you're going with Kalitas and Flame Tendrils.
And then Crook. Those are the first five I'm bringing in.
Getting rid of
Taking out.
Languishes.
Uh, Languish does answer anything made by a God Pharaoh's Gift. Although if God Pharaoh's Gift resolved, you're not in a great spot. Um,
Jace doesn't seem great in this matchup to me.
no, I think Jace is not great. Um, Vraska's Contempt is a little slow. It exiles, which is nice, but all the creatures are small and dorky.
And as we saw that game, by the time that he was like Vraska's Contempting, God Pharaoh's Gift was already online.
Yeah, I think you want to take out the Vraska's Contempts. I think those are the first cuts, just because all the creatures are slow and dorky.
So it looks like our players is sideboarded, and Noah's going to mull down to 6 and keep. So
And Kevin has kept.
I'm assuming that Kevin kept. If
He hasn't
Noah's
said
saying he
anything.
kept,
It looks like he's keeping
okay,
a
he's keeping
seven.
7.
But yeah, again, strongly favor Kevin in this matchup.
And Noah has Polluted Delta, Flooded Strand Swamp, Transgress, Liliana, and Languish.
So he did bring in Transgress, which I can see why you would want that. Um, it's probably your best way to deal with God Pharaoh's Gift, other than disallow.
You know, I really like Liliana on the play here.
Yeah, Liliana on the play is very powerful.
This is about as good of a hand as Noah's going to get.
Out of a six, yeah. Um, Maybe trade the Languish for a push just to kill a mana dork. But that would be about it.
Yep.
And kept the Catacomb on top.
That's a pretty stacked 7.
We'll see how it matches up against what Kevin's got, which currently we do not know.
Very minor. Think I would have played the Swamp here, because I'm not going to fetch this turn anyway. And then you can trigger your Revolt later on if you need to.
I don't think Revolt is as important in the matchup, given that it's just a pile of dorky 2 and 3 drops.
So he's going to crack the fetch, negating the scry that he just did.
Yeah,
I
and
guess.
it looks like he's just realized that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we see Kevin opening up on Canopy Vista with Seder Wayfinder in hand and Merfolk Branchwalker. Also Godfarer's Gift, Champion of Wits, Island, and Prairie Stream. So pretty good hand for him too.
I'm not sure how many graveyard based decks you've played in this format, but I found Champion of Wits to be so good in the
Champion of
graveyard
Wits has been
decks.
a very good card in Standard, and I think it's going to start making waves in perhaps even more formats.
I would not be surprised to see it show up in Frontier.
Well, no,
Modern be kind of slow maybe, but there's
yeah,
been weirder
Modern's
things.
not in the spot for it, but could be. It's powerful enough, I think, to potentially make waves. Turn 2 Transgress from Noah, I think, is going to be pretty good. You got to deal with that Godfarer's Gift. I don't think you can take anything else.
Yeah, and he's down to one Godfarer's Gift. Kevin is if he gets rid of this. Of course, he has a Gate to the Afterlives, but if he can disallow those or something, that's going to be really bad for Kevin.
Yep, Noah's on the same plan that we were. Take out that Godfarer's Gift. You can deal with the small things. Would you play Wayfinder or Branchwalker here?
I'm inclined to play Wayfinder just so I can like find my fourth land for sure. Of course, if you're scared of like a crook or something, then you may want to slow roll your graveyard.
I think what Kevin's going for here, which is kind of what I was thinking as well, is Branchwalker applies more pressure.
Sure, I can see that.
Plus, you have Champion of Wits next turn, potentially. We see the second Godfarer's Gift get scried to the graveyard.
So the Gate to the Afterlife is kind of weird in the fact that it can get Godfarer's Gift from the graveyard.
You'd see that happen a lot in Standard in those decks where they often loot away their Godfarer's Gift off of Gate of the Afterlife triggers and then get it back a few turns later.
So your play and Kevin's play worked out a little bit better as this Branchwalker will survive the Liliana.
Let's see if Kevin can find a third untapped land to play this champion, but it looks like it's just going to be Wayfinder first.
That's exactly what we're going to see.
But we're seeing this Bant deck just continue to grind out value where Noah's already down to 3 cards. Granted, Liliana on board is going to do quite a bit of work here, but...
And so he hit 2 Renegade Rallier and a Merfolk Branchwalker to the graveyard. And by hitting those planes, he will turn on his Prairie Stream that he has in hand.
Mm-hmm. But in Noah's hand, he has Negate, and this is kind of what I was talking about when we were going over sideboards, is he's going to find himself with Negate in hand and just lose to the pile of creatures.
Right. And this definitely is not a board that you're wanting to languish. I couldn't see that coming here.
But we are going to see Languish in a couple turns, most likely.
And it'll be pretty good then.
Probably next turn. But then you're putting Champion in the graveyard, and that's just going to get more value later down the line.
An Eternalized Champion of Wits is so good.
I think that's why Champion of Wits is just generally so powerful in a lot of decks.
Yeah. 7 mana is like not that big a deal for a deck running as many Satyr Wayfinders, Elvish Mystics, and Branchwalker either.
But also when your turn 3 play is even more powerful on turn 7.
Yeah. Basically it's a built-in 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Well, plus with the cards it draws.
Yeah. I mean, the effect alone on the rebuy is a 2-for-1, plus you're getting a 4-4. That's a 3-for-1, plus it's extra selection, so it's even better than a 3-for-1.
So Noah drew a Disallow for turn. So he has Negate, Languish, Disallow.
I feel like you just kind of sit here, let your Liliana absorb damage, try and find as big a Languish as you can.
Yeah, and you can afford to sit on that Disallow for like a Gate to the Afterlife or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And he's not under too much pressure because Liliana's absorbing so much.
And this is where being on the play really helps Noah.
However, it looks like Kevin has found a Spellcaller.
That's going to be rough for Noah.
I kind
Spellcaller
of
is not a
like
card that we
playing.
saw a lot in Frontier this season. I feel like the
No, but
red
it's
decks kind of
very
scared it
hot.
away.
I kind of like though Kevin playing out the Champion of Wits first, developing my board a little bit before I start going on the instant plan because this isn't a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And if Noah simply passes the turn here without playing anything, which is very likely and is what happened, what do you do as Kevin? Do you play out a Spellcaller all by itself?
So
And he
Kevin
didn't.
has a Trophy Mage and another Champion of Wits in hand as well.
Yeah, I think I like playing out the Champion of Wits.
Especially because you have one backup if he counters it, but I want to bait out counter spells so I can land that Trophy Mage.
Yeah,
Because of course the Trophy Mage will get the Gate to the Afterlife, which will then get the God Pharaoh's Gift. Liliana's falling down to 1.
but I mean at this point she's absorbed on top of her minus probably at least 10 damage,
Sounds about right.
which is buying certainly buying Noah a lot of time. And Kevin simply no, he's just moving to main phase two.
He is going to
And then
pass.
passing. He's still on that Spellcaller plan.
I don't understand that. You're giving Noah time to get back into the game.
Yeah, you need to develop your board. Sure, you play into a sweeper, but
But
I
do
feel
you
like
really
you
care?
position. You're up on cards so much. You're getting extra selection from Champion of Wits, or you're eating a disallow. Either way, you're in a good spot.
And your game plan is to reanimate stuff in the graveyard anyway, so it's not like getting your board wiped is even that big a deal. Okay, but it's going to work
Oh,
out.
Noah went for the Languish on that board. I'm not sure.
That seemed very preemptive to me. And I'm going to imagine that we're just going to see a Trophy Mage here.
Yeah. I also imagine Liliana is just going to kill off the 1/1 now, just to get something off the board, because it's dying anyway.
I don't know if I even want to kill Satyr Wayfinder, though. I'm so scared of that being in the graveyard, just to fill up the graveyard even more off the God Pharaoh's Gift.
I mean, at this point, there's already 3 creatures in the graveyard. One more isn't
Well, it's
the
the
biggest
fact
of
that it
deals.
brings up to 4 more with it after that.
Sure, but I don't think you're beating God Pharaoh's Gift regardless.
Okay, I see what you're
So
saying.
I just like getting the creatures off the board. Maybe his plan is he drew a second sweeper, or he has a way to kill this Spellcaller, and then Languish comes back and wipes the board anyway. So he just wants to take as little damage as possible. That could also be his plan.
Yep. So I gotta imagine Trophy Mage here. Bare
Starting
minimum
off with
Champion of
combat.
Wits.
Yep, Liliana's finally goes down, but she absorbed a lot of damage.
Definitely did what she needed to do in this matchup.
Yeah, she bought a lot of time.
Because this is to the point of the game now that Noah actually has a chance of climbing back into it.
Yeah. And we're gonna see Champion of Wits first. I think he just wants to find a land.
That's fair. He can also get rid of his Angel of Invention as well, send
Yeah.
that to the graveyard. Of course, at this point, he may just want to play it.
That also could very well be true. He's seen one sweeper already.
So he's discarding a land. Okay,
Could be
and he does
found
play
one.
one. So Noah's hand being negate and disallow, he's very behind on this board.
Ooh, Flame Tendril is nice. But
It's nice, but
notably,
it doesn't get rid
Kevin
of
is
Spell Queller.
no, but it exiles the rest.
Right.
And Kevin, I was just gonna say, Kevin is leaving up mana for negate. Turns out he doesn't have it, because that would be a very good negate.
Conversely, Noah does have mana for negate.
Oh, true. Yeah, he has negate backup.
That's about as good of a turn as Noah could have asked for, I think.
Yeah, got a lot of pressure off the board. That particular champion of which is never coming back, but there is one in the graveyard.
Oh, that's interesting. You can reveal the hand to the spectators.
Ooh, negate's actually gonna get some use. I was
Perfect.
worried Noah was just gonna have that rot in his hand and just die to a pile of creatures, but it turns out he's gonna get some use out of it, which is really good for him. If you can, it's a very situational card in the matchup, but when it hits, it's very powerful.
Right. Storm Tamer.
Storm Tamer, very good here, protecting that spellcaller.
So Noah really, really needs land. Very badly. Of course, he doesn't have a ton in the graveyard for the Gearhulk.
Ooh, Cletus. If he has Cletus plus push,
He does not. He has a Gearhulk and a Disallow.
ooh. Still, Cletus will likely go unanswered.
And it's going to gain as much life as he's getting dealt as well, at a bare minimum.
Oh yeah, it definitely mitigates a lot of pressure. Immediately clogs up the ground and turns any single target removal spell you have into something pretty excellent. I gotta imagine we see Angel here.
Probably, but he might be scared of it getting killed.
I mean, I feel like at this point
Actually,
you just gotta find flying threats and get around this Cletus.
he has 6 mana, so actually I would expect the Trophy Mage
Oh sure,
and
he
then
could be Trophy
activate.
Mage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you can just ignore the Cletus this turn, I think it's better than going all in. Okay, never mind.
Angel notably also adds 2 points of damage to the board immediately.
So he's going for the servo route.
Going for servos is interesting. Is his plan to double block Cletus with servos?
Maybe so.
I mean, they don't get exiled, which is nice. This play also does leave up Storm Tamer.
I gotta wonder why he didn't go for Trophy Mage and get to the afterlife, though.
I think the nice thing about this play is the extra points of damage you get in.
But that Khalid is
Now,
just locking down the board, though. So Noah did find his 6th land.
Gearhulk
He doesn't really have much
can
to
only
Gearhulk
hit negate.
back.
He only has negate. That's pretty rough. And there's nothing on the ground that is going to be blocking except for Servo, which isn't attacking anyway.
So as you pointed out, if he had just put the counters on the Angel Invention, he could get for even more damage in the air. I guess he's holding back Kalidas with the servos now.
He is,
But
which is nice. But yeah, this is not looking good for Noah. His draw has been kind of awkward. And Spellcaller, if he can find a removal spell for Spellcaller, all of a sudden, this is very good.
very, very good.
Because even though Storm Tamer won't eat that up, that is a zombie, which then makes Cletus bigger. Because you get to attack, and then if he double blocks, you just sack your zombie, make your Cletus huge.
So I gotta imagine we're just gonna see the Flyers attack.
Yeah.
Not much else this turn.
It's 7 points of damage.
So Noah's got to find something right now. It's his only
Yeah.
chance.
He found Fatal Push.
It's not gonna do it.
It allows Cletus to attack, though.
That's true.
It allows him to gain 5. Goes to 7. Removes 2 damage from the board. Takes 8. Oh, that's not enough. He needs to hold Cletus back to block, but then he's only at 2. Yeah,
Yeah,
Fatal
it's
Push
just
isn't going to
dead.
be enough. Oh, wait, wait. He can disallow the trigger,
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
but he needs Revolt on. He needs to attack with Cletus first and hope. Well, you don't double block then, do you? Yeah, this is what
You
you
have
have
no
to do.
reason
You
to
have to
double
hope he double
block.
blocks. You have no reason to, but this is your only chance. He has to double block for Noah to have a chance, and then that turns on Revolt. Yep, Kevin just gonna take the damage. He's at 22. No
Very
reason to
smart of
take it.
Noah played all his outs.
But yeah, that was his only out. Unfortunate too, because that would have been sweet if we had gotten to see that all happen.
Right. Well, is Noah definitely dead? He's not.
Um,
Because he's going. Well,
he goes to 5. He removes
yeah,
2
he's
flying
just
damage from
dead.
the. There's still 5 flying
Yeah, he's
damage
just
from the
dead.
cross, plus 4 more. Yeah, that's game.
All right, so we're gonna see Kevin move on to the top four now, right?
Yep.
Do
Where he
we
awaits
know?
the winner. I don't believe his opponents have played yet, but he awaits the winner of um, Zed on Blue Black Control and no, they have played. Excuse me.
Zed lost, right?
Um, Zed lost to Thraben Inspector on Atarka Red.
That's right.
So
Like,
we're gonna see this Godfarer's Gift Collected Company deck go up against um, Atarka Red,
and
which will
then
be, I think, an interesting matchup.
and then tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern time, we're going to see Sky Burial play Moosey, and at 10:30 we're also going to see. Oh man, who's
10:30 a.m. I
yeah,
believe.
10:30 a.m. Do you remember the other two competitors?
That would be Somnus on Shrapnel Red and
And Mussy, right?
Mussy on Blue Black Control.
I really think I gotta favor Somnus on that in that game,
Oh yeah,
and I think
and
I'm
I
gonna
think
favor Moosey on Obzon over Bant Humans.
I think so. Yeah, I think I agree with both those calls.
Oh well, it's gonna be fun. Well,
Yep,
thanks for
looking
coming.
forward to it.
Thanks for commentating tonight, Clayton.
And thank you for having me.
All right, this is the Untap Open League. Thank you.